This week's GM is a new one, with the PsiOps Battleground on the moon becoming just the second ever battlegrounds to be turned into a Grandmaster. This Nightfall is absolutely loaded with enemies and will require some serious coordination at times. This guide will help you with the most effective team comp, loadouts, and positioning strategies to help you conquer one of the hardest Grandmaster Nightfalls this season. I'm Above, and if you enjoyed today's video, a like and subscription would be greatly appreciated. Now, let's get into it. Starting with my recommended team comp, we went with one Invis Hunter with Aeon Swifts, one Thunder Crash Titan rocking Heart of Inmost Light, and a Berserker Titan using the Abiant Leaps. The Invis Hunter is used to safely collect and dunk offerings in the ritual encounter, while the Aeons keep our team topped off on heavy ammo. Heart of Inmost Light absolutely annihilates this Grandmaster, while your Berserker Titan is used to suspend both champions and Hive Guardians. This Grandmaster requires you to be extremely mobile, but if you feel like you need some extra survivability, Well of Radiance with Phoenix Protocol is another solid option here. As for weapon loadouts, you'll need to come equipped for both barrier and unstoppable champions, have top tier ad clear, as well as long range damage options to safely deal with the boss room. We ran 2 Wish Enders for its ability to break champion shields, one-shot red bar enemies, and deal consistent damage to bosses from a safe distance. We also ran Galahorn and paired this with 2 arc rockets to absolutely nuke champions, Hive Guardians, and the seemingly endless mobs of ads. We paired this with 2 Waveframe grenade launchers to help with ad clear, and an unstopped glaive and hand cannon as backup sources of unstop. The glaive also offers our hunter additional damage resist when needed, which can be helpful when collecting tributes in the second encounter. We also tested machine guns, as it's this week's overcharged weapon type, and though they performed well, we found that rockets perform slightly better in the ad dense portions of this Grandmaster. Key armor mods include concussive dampener and arc resist to counter the arc threat, which is extremely prominent in this Nightfall. I also recommend heavy ammo finders and scouts for consistent heavy drops from your Wish Enders, and Sect of Insight on your Aeon gauntlets to produce heavy ammo when performing finishers. There are several artifact mods that enhance arc subclasses this season, so be sure to take advantage of them. As we dive into the Nightfall, push forward to the first bridge and begin clearing ads from this high ground. This spot is incredibly safe and offers perfect visibility on the first few waves of enemies as they spawn in. Don't be shy with your heavy ammo or ability spam here, as there are several heavy crates that we can use to restock on ammo throughout this encounter. The first wave includes both a barrier and unstoppable champion, with the barrier spawning just inside this room. Let it walk out before damaging it, otherwise it can shield itself behind cover, which makes this encounter take much longer than it needs to. The unstop will spawn at the top of the stairs, and rockets absolutely delete it. Once clear, turn around and grab the ammo crate to top off on ammo, and just like that, we're done with the first part of the bridge. It is at this point that a Hive Tomb ship will spawn in, and its turrets are extremely lethal, but you can actually make this part easier by breaking them from a distance, which eliminates the ship's threat altogether. Wish Ender does work against these, which is just another reason to use it here. We can then push up to where the first unstop spawned and use this high ground for cover. There will be another unstop directly below you, but rockets should deal with this champ no problem. There will be another wave of ads that spawn behind it, including a Hive Guardian and yet another barrier champion. Suspend goes crazy here, completely nullifying this entire wave and the Hive Guardian's abilities. Your Invis Hunter can then push up and safely finish the ghost, and once dead, yet another unstop will spawn in, and we can use this half wall for cover to push up and kill it. You'll now get a slight break from champions, but waves of ads will begin swarming towards you. Tether does extremely well to control the ad waves here, and your abilities should be able to take these enemies out no problem. Once clear, a barrier knight will spawn in the room, followed by an unstop at the top of the stairs once again. Simply rocket dump to take these out, and restock on ammo using the heavy ammo crate on your left hand side. And if you need more ammo, you can easily get finishers on the 2 barrier champions on the way to the next encounter. The Hive Ritual Arena is easily the hardest part of this Grandmaster, but with the tips and tricks we're about to show you, you'll get through this encounter no problem. As you enter, a tribute bearer will spawn directly in front of you, and when they die, they'll drop tributes that we need to pick up and dunk into 3 altars on each side of the arena. You can hold up to 3 of these at any given time, indicated by your burden of tribute stacks on the left-hand side of your screen. We'll need to dunk 4 of these into each altar to fully cleanse it. Just keep in mind that if you die, you'll lose your current stacks. Tribute bearers spawn consistently as indicated by the text in your feed. Your Invis Hunter is perfect for collecting these as they can safely collect max stacks without drawing enemy aggro. And when the first tribute is deposited into the center altar, the encounter will begin. This deposit will spawn both a barrier and unstoppable champion, tribute bearers, and a constant wave of adds. I recommend taking cover all the way at the back of the center altar and clearing from here. Strand is great for buying time, while Hoyle carries the add clear. The unstop will push towards you and should absolutely be your team's first priority. You can then take out any adds in the surrounding area, focus the barrier champion, and take your time killing wizards from a distance. Your Invis Hunter can then safely move up and collect 3 more tributes, but before dunking, you want your teammates to rotate to the left plate and position themselves to spawn trap the first Hive Guardian. Your Hunter can then dunk the max tribute stacks to fully cleanse the first altar, at which point 2 Hive Guardians and a Shrieker will spawn in. While your teammates are spawn trapping the first Hive Guardian, the Hunter will be responsible for killing the Shrieker that spawns in the center of the arena, and once dead, the Hunter can use Invis to safely rotate back to your teammates. The second Hive Guardian will make its way towards you, so simply suspend and kill it once more. Once these key enemies are dead, the encounter becomes much safer. Your goal is to collect 8 more tributes and dunk 4 of them at each altar. We tried to dunk the final tribute on both sides at the same time to avoid spawning champions, and though this works, the champs spawn in and then despawn immediately, which ruins platinum rewards. So instead, we'll be doing 1 altar at a time. The only real danger at this point are the Hive Knights that push towards you, but if you play at the back of the altars, you should be able to manage these no problem. Take your time killing the wizards and have your Hunter collect the tributes once again. Once the left altar is complete, a second set of barrier and unstoppable champions will spawn in. These will be accompanied by a Shrieker in the center of the arena, which is why using the back of these altars for cover is crucial to success here. It allows you to focus the Shrieker safely from a distance and buys you time as the champs make their way towards you. Now that all of these threats are gone, simply pick up the tribute bearers from a distance and have your Hunter collect max stacks one final time and deposit them at the altar on the far side of the arena. Your teammates can then rotate over to the final altar, help you dunk the final tribute to despawn the remaining adds, and we're moving on. The next area is where we first meet Korosek, the final boss of this Grandmaster. This bridge is guarded by 2 unstoppable ogres and can easily be taken out from a distance, but you can also get finishers to restock on ammo here if needed. Have one person push up to spawn the boss, while your teammates stay back behind these large hive pillars to safely avoid aggro. Just be aware that a Shrieker will spawn behind you if you attempt to back up too far, so just stay in this general area and you'll be just fine. Korosek will spawn in the middle of the summoning portal, along with some trash mobs on the platforms in front of you. The back half of this GM is where Wishender truly shines, as it steadily chips away at the boss's health bar, which allows you to save your heavy ammo for clearing adds in the boss room. When the boss reaches roughly 80% health, you'll be teleported into the Mindscape, the final boss room for this Grandmaster. After engaging the Mindscape in the center of the arena, Korosek will spawn in. This boss isn't too much of a threat as long as you have arc resists equipped, but the endless waves of acolytes and hive boomers can cause you serious problems if you're not positioned properly. So to start, we'll be taking cover at the back of the platform from which we entered. You can use Wishender to whittle down her health bar from here with little to no threat to you, and once Korosek reaches the 2/3 health gate, an aspect of Savathun will spawn in. This enemy can only be damaged by the Synaptic Spear that you pick up in the center of the arena, but we need to clear the encounter before doing so. There will be a barrier and an unstoppable champion that spawns in with this boss, which is why I recommend taking high ground on either side of the arena to deal with them during the first phase. Both of Savathun's arc attacks are extremely lethal, and this high ground helps protect you from them. Once dead, you can begin collecting the Synaptic Spear, and if you want to play it safe, simply have your Invis Hunter grab the spear over and over and over again. But if you want to speed up the kill, simply time the spear pickup in the downtime between her attacks and focus her as a team. Savathun usually stays in the center of the arena during this phase, which makes her relatively easy to kill. Once dead, Korosek will return. And though the boss tends to chill in the middle of the arena, we'll have a large group of ads spawning on the left tower, which is why we use the right tower for cover during this phase. Take out the ads while whittling down the boss to the next health gate, and it is at this point that 2 aspects of Savathun will spawn in, one on each side of the map. The synaptic spears will also be duplicated, however, which makes these much easier to collect than they were during the first phase. And just like before, we'll need to watch out for Savathun's arc attacks as our team focuses one of them at a time. The first one is by far the toughest, but once dead, you can safely spam your spears at the second one from across the room. And once both aspects are dead, Coruscant will spawn in one last time. It is at this point that you can finish off the boss's health bar, making the PsiOps Moon Battleground a GG. If you found this guide useful, a like and subscription would be greatly appreciated, and you can catch me live at twitch.tv/abub, where I'll be doing GM helps all season long. Anyways guys, that's it from me. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Peace!